Well, hello, my badass friends. My name is Cece, and this is my badass life. I have a promise to keep today. My friend Michael Miller has written a book called Surviving Colorectal Cancer, a memoir of family, friends, and faith. And I am asking you today to consider purchasing Michael's book on Amazon. I purchased it, I read it. I was actually quite pleasantly surprised that he referred to me in the book, which was really sweet. That is not the reason that I'm doing this review slash recommendation. Michael is a good friend. We have become friends through our blogging and our writing about the cancer journey. And Michael is he is a octogenarian. He's in his 80s, and he survived colorectal cancer. I think he was diagnosed just before he turned 80 and had a hell of an experience. But the other interesting nuance about his experience is that he went through the entire treatment process in Guadalajara, Mexico. And so that is a bit of a difference in how a lot of us approach cancer treatment. And so he shares a lot about his experience in this wonderful book, Surviving Colorectal Cancer. Michael has had an interesting recovery process, and I promised him I would do this, and I really, really want to, because I believe in sharing the experiences of our journeys. And I know there are people out there who are being diagnosed in their 70s and 80s, even though the youngers are the ones now getting diagnosed more often. And those are the people under 50, especially the people under 40. And actually most of the people that I know now who are getting diagnosed are in their 20s and 30s. So that's a little horrifying, especially given the current situation with cancer research and funding. Please call your representatives and ask for more of that. But again, I don't want to digress from my point here, which is that Michael's book is very affordable. It's a very good read. It's very powerful. He talks a lot about his experience, about what the challenges were, the things that he had to get used to, and how he has come so far in his recovery, which I know I'm super grateful for him. I'm grateful that he was able to recover to this degree, especially given his age, because sometimes we have this mindset that the older we are, the harder this stuff is, and that is true. And there's a lot to be said for the correct mindset, the resilience, the tenacity to continue to work and to help your body recover, which he did very much in this process. And so what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to read you just a little bit of my review of the book, and I hope that you will purchase Michael's book. I am reading, of course, so forgive my lack of eye contact. Full disclosure, I know Michael because of my own journey through rectal cancer. In fact, to my surprise, he's kindly mentioned me in this book. Here's my honest review. While Michael and I are almost 2.5 decades apart in age, I am 57. Like many colorectal cancer survivors, we share many things in common. The types of, I lost my spot. The types of treatment we received, side effects of said treatments, and the ongoing physical, mental, and spiritual joys and challenges of being a cancer survivor. Michael has the added component of having been diagnosed at almost 80 years old, which can make all of the above that much harder. If you're in that age bracket, this is a must read. If you're younger than 80, you should still read this book. It's a straightforward, easy-to-read account of one man's journey through cancer with the nuance of receiving care in a foreign country, Mexico, and navigating U.S. healthcare insurance at the same time, as well as the emotional challenges that go with acceptance and resilience, especially in those times when your body chooses not to cooperate despite all willpower to the contrary. As I said, many of our journeys have similar components, even if our bodies are different. In my experience, there are two types of cancer patients: those who start out the cancer journey wanting to know nothing, and others who have an insatiable need for knowledge. The first type just wants to move through treatment, do what doctors tell them to do, hopefully be cured, and move on when it's over. If that's you, this book might not be for you. Of course, Michael does break down some things in clear and simple terms, which makes the whole thing easier to understand, but fair warning, there are still some gory details. The book is meant to prepare you, not to scare you. I truly admire the I don't want to know folks. Unfortunately, Michael and I are the second kind of cancer patient / survivor, the kind that wants to know the who, what, where, when, and how, true to our journalistic roots. Plus, Michael used to work for the NIH, National Institutes of Health, which is why I think we hit it off over the interwebs, sharing our rectal cancer journeys. That said, if you are the latter, like me and Michael, and you want and need to be an informed consumer of your care and a proponent in your own healing, read this book. And more importantly, share it with others so that they understand what you're going through, especially if you are currently going through cancer treatment. The more you can share with your friends and family members, the better. Plus, I wish I knew what I didn't know back then and didn't think to ask. There were a lot of surprises. Michael's book helps you know what could be coming your way and in turn is great for helping you develop questions to ask of your care team. I believe Michael's book is valuable to survivors and patients as it is to families because understanding cancer is a difficult job. Explaining it in the midst of treatment can be even harder, especially colorectal cancer because there can be such a stigma attached to it. It's butt cancer after all. And probably harder for an older man navigating those situations. Michael provides both tips and guidance by way of sharing his story. Today, I celebrate Michael for being in remission, for his tenacity, for getting this book to market in what I think is record time. Time is very precious to us cancer survivors, and for his commitment to others by sharing his story. I hope that you will join me in purchasing Michael's book from Amazon, Surviving Colorectal Cancer, a memoir of family, friends, and faith. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.